Friends, I would love to share with you a story that I just heard is fascinating. Fresh off the press. There's a man, his name is Pinchas, and he heard the story from the person that was involved. And here's the story. There was a young man that grew up in a place in Israel called Komemiyut, or Komemiyus. And as a kid, this was right after the war, they did not have a cheder, they did not have a school, a proper Jewish school. So what they did was they took one of the houses in the area. There was one man, he lived there alone, and he had a nice big house. And he gave his whole house that they could have a school there, and he had one room for himself with all his personal belongings. Now, boys being boys, there was one boy that really gave the owner of the house a really hard time, made him crazy. And life went on. This man got married, moved to Williamsburg, of all places, Brooklyn. And this past Passover, the last day of Passover, where here in America, we say YIZKOR on the last day of Passover, versus Israel is only 7 days, so they say it the day before. He has a dream. He has a dream of the man of that house over 40, 50 years ago, maybe more, actually a lot more than that, but comes to him in a dream and tells him, "You should know I never forgave you for what you did. You really made me miserable. Anyway, but I'm willing to forgive you on one condition. If you will today or tomorrow morning, that is, say YIZKOR on my behalf, give charity and say Kaddish, say the mourner's prayer, all is forgiven." The guy wakes up in a sweat. It's like, oh, this dream felt like real. And he goes to shul. YIZKOR comes, and he includes in the YIZKOR also a special prayer for this man that was once upon a time the owner of the house of the school that he went to. And that was that. After Yom Tov, after the holiday, he calls up his friend that is the son of the rabbi, the teacher in this school. And he says, do you remember the man that owned the house? He says, yeah. He says, do you remember his name? He says, of course I remember his name. He says, I know his name too. I just want to know, do you know his father's name? And he tells him the whole story. I had this dream, and it felt so real. And I actually prayed for him, but I didn't know his father's name. I had him in mind, whatever his father's name is, but I would really like to know what his actual father's name is. This was already after the holiday. He says, I don't know. I'll try to find out. About 25 days later, the son of the rabbi, that the question was asked to him if he knows the name of that man that owned the house, has a visitor from Israel. And the visitor turns out to be none other than the nephew. This man did not have any children. The nephew of this deceased person that came into the dream. And he asks him, do you know your uncle's father's name? And he tells it to him. He says, why? And he tells him why. That, a friend of mine had a dream. A classmate of mine had a dream that he came to him and he told him, if he says YIZKOR, all is forgotten if he does that mitzvah for him. He says, that's crazy. I actually said YIZKOR for him for the past 40 years. I've been saying YIZKOR for him. This Passover, I forgot to say YIZKOR for him because I ended up in the hospital with a family member and I prayed without a minyan. And when it came to the YIZKOR part, I totally forgot about it. Now, what's interesting, in Israel, it's actually the day before. So the soul upstairs recognized that he's not getting his Amazon Prime this year. He's not getting his YIZKOR, his prayer. He went into a dream to somebody that has the holiday the following day that he should be able to do it for him. So we see from this a beautiful thing. Number one, YIZKOR really makes a difference. They're waiting for it. They anticipate it. They enjoy it. It means so much to them. Number two, the charity of it also means something. And number three, in this holiday, specifically in this holiday, when it comes to the holiday of Shavuos that we are celebrating, the giving of the Torah, the value that we have now, that every mitzvah we do counts. We can appreciate from this story how every mitzvah really makes a difference for ourselves, for our loved ones. May we be inspired to take more upon ourselves, to connect more with God, to accomplish more in this world, and to make this world a better place to the coming of Mashiach B'Karav Mamish. Amen.